All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. First Saturday of May, May the 3rd. The lead up to the May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. I'm your host, pilot, lead singer, and driver of the airplane, Uncle B. Today, we were back in the DC-3. We're going from Mwanza to Bujumbura. Says about a 2-hour flight. I think we're going to get there in about an hour and a half-ish. I don't think it's going to take the full 2 hours. I think we're going to get there pretty quickly. We're going to go over a couple things real quick first. This is what our flight looks like. Hopefully this is going to pop up on the... Make sure it shows up here on Discord. There it is. So that's what the flight looks like in little nav map. I kind of checked in on the airport yesterday, and there's basically right around here there's a big mountain range, and then it just all goes into flat, and there's kind of a marshland near this body of water here. I think it's a lake. Yeah, it's a pretty big lake, it looks like. But anyway, so what we're gonna do, we're coming in on runway 35. As we get near the mountains, I'm going to go to heading mode, and what we're going to try to do is pass over the airport up in this region. We're going to get down to about 6,000 feet, so we're going to pass over the airport. We're going to come all the way as close as we can to this area. We're going to make a big loop out and then come back into the airport. Okay. So the chart looks like this. Let me wait for it to pop up. There it is. So the chart looks like this. It's this area here is much larger than it looks in the chart. You know, it looks pretty narrow, but it's a fairly wide area, I think. So when we come over, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to pass over the airport above where our landing runway is, and then we're gonna kind of turn around, kind of make this big wide loop. But we're gonna be cognizant of these hills and which turn into mountains basically here, and then we'll turn into the airport. We're not gonna follow this exactly, because this is kind of like you come in at an angle, probably because of the mountains and all that, and then you turn in kind of last minute almost into the onto the runway. So, but I think we got a good plan. We're gonna basically what we're gonna try to do is come right about to here and then line up on the approach. We're gonna use this VOR DME that's right at the edge of the runway. Let's see. Yeah. So, well, not at the edge, but it lines up pretty much with the runway center line. So we're going to use that as kind of help guide us in. So we're going to tune into that, and then that's what we got planned. Okay. All right. I think it's going to be a pretty quiet one today. Want to give a quick shout out to Texas Sugar and Spice, who follows Kev Sim Corner. She followed my Twitch about 3 days ago, so I want to give her a thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get in here and get things started. I think I'm going to be talking to myself most of the time today. That's okay. I'm used to it. All right. Interesting that this runway that we're taking off from. I thought I saw. Yeah, we got a big X there. Like that runway is closed. I wonder if this airport is actually closed in real life. let's just have a quick look. This is the one we're supposed to be departing from. Because it had the best wind. Let's just have a look down at the other end while we're... This is a fairly long runway. Both of them are, actually. The one we're landing at is the only international airport in Burundi, and it's the only paved only airport with a paved runway in this country of Burundi. See, I don't see an X from here, so it must be that they expect you to take off and land from that direction, coming in over the water. They don't want you taking, but that's the one we're going to use today. All right. Let's go ahead and put our safety stuff down. Get our ground power on. Let's get our yolks out the way so we can see things a little bit more clearly. And we so we're at nearly 4,000 feet already, so when we get up to 10,000, we should be okay. It won't take us long to get there. Okay, let's see now. I'll have to wait till we get that turned on. Okay, let's get our engine started. Okay. All right, so now let me turn the fuel pump, the booster pumps off because I don't think we need those. Let's get some lights on just in case we need it. I think it's like late afternoon here, or we might land in the evening time there. Okay, now the well, you know what? Let me just throw in a little fuel since we're going to be on the ground. Probably should have done this first, but we'll go 65% because we'll burn a little bit while we're sitting here talking. So this is your autopilot system right here, right? Not very fancy. Oh, first thing, before you do anything else, you see it says V-Lock. We want to click on this button, CDI, till it switches to GPS, so that when you look outside, you have that magenta purplish line on your compass up there in the left corner. Okay, so that's important. So we're going to go to 10,000 feet, so we can dial in that 10,000 first. Okay. Now, the tricky part is this vertical speed thing. What I do on my Bravo yoke or Bravo throttles quadrant, I have a VS button. I push that, and then I just have to use the mouse or whatever to click the up button or the down button, depending on which way I'm going. Okay. So if you're not, if you don't have a system like this, it can be a bit, what do you call it? It might not go the way that you expect it to. So you have to kind of keep pressing it until you see the VS up here somewhere pop up, and then you hit your vertical speeds, and then the plane should climb on its own. Or if you know you're going to go to 10,000 feet, you can climb on your own, and then get to the that point, and then just hit your altitude hold mode and your nav mode, okay, to stay on the magenta line. All right, so I've that might be a little much. I don't want it in full auto rich. I just want it a little bit off because we're already at nearly 4,000 feet. I just want to use, you know, what we have to help with the fact that we're already at up a little bit in altitude. All right, so we're all set. Otherwise, let's go ahead and dial in that frequency. 11230. We'll go ahead and swap that over. Now we do have a non-directional beacon. I think we could tune it in here, but I'm not 100% sure. I think this is only for an ADF direction finder thingy. So I think what we got is going to work. So we'll go with that. All right. So I think we're all set. Otherwise, let's talk to somebody, shall we? We're heading to the west.
Mwanza ground Clipper 237 ready to taxi west departure.
Clipper 237 taxi to and hold short of runway 12 using taxiway.
Same.
Contact tower on 119.8 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 12 using taxiway. Yep. Clipper 237.
They don't want anybody landing this way or taking off this way. I don't think. All right, let's go ahead and get our safety stuff put away. Well, you know what we could do. I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna fool the system a little bit here. We're gonna call it in here that we're already down at 12 and we're ready for takeoff. Let's see if it'll allow us to do that. There we go.
Mwanza Tower Clipper 237 ready at runway 12 west departure.
Clipper 237 wind 29er at 8. Departure to the west approved.
8 knot headwind, and they want me to go all the way to the other end and have an 8 knot tailwind.
Cleared for takeoff runway 12 Clipper 237.
tail wheel. Alright, I think we're all set otherwise. Altimeter's set. Alright. Let's go.
Clipper 237, continue for west departure.
Mwanza Tower
Over
Clipper
the water a
237,
little bit.
continue for west
We'll
departure.
Take a lefty. There we go. Alright, now, speed. There we go. Ta-da, just like that.
Clipper 237, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Mwanza Tower Clipper 237, frequency change. Mwanza approach Clipper 237 is type 5 miles west of Mwanza 5,600 feet. Request flight following.
Clipper 237, Mwanza approach. Squawk tree 151.
Squawk Tree 151 Clipper 237.
Clipper 237, radar contact 6 miles west of Mwanza 5,700 feet. Altimeter 29.901.
Roger Clipper 237.
Away we go. A little bit of clouds, but nothing major. It's not overcast. Got a great view all the way around here. we know roughly 255, 254. That's our heading right now. So what we're going to do is when we get to closer, and I'm going to engage the heading mode. We're going to go for 25. We're going to go for like 265, somewhere around there, to turn away from the airport. So we're going to leave that there. So when we engage the heading mode, we already have it. Receivers on. So once we're about 100 nautical miles into the flight, we should start to hear the code from the airport there that VORD there by the runway. This up for our runway heading. Let's have a look what that is. We're not going to use up 16 degrees, 016 degrees coming in this way. We're going to use the actual runway heading 355. The great thing is we got a nice long runway here. There was another one here, but I don't think it's in use anymore. This might have been the original runway for the international airport, but I don't think it was paved. So we're going to land. We're going to try to turn in on one of these. We might go all the way to Alpha just so we have time to slow the plane down and all that. But if not, we may go all the way to the end and turn back around and come back into the airport terminals here. 355. So that's not far off of the bank.
Clipper 237, contact DAR Center on 119.3.
That's already set.
Good day.
Going to 119.3 Clipper 237.
Almost at 8,000
DAR Center
feet.
Clipper 237, 8,000 feet.
Clipper 237, DAR Center, altimeter 29.90, radar contact, continue.
So it says we got about an hour and 11 left in the flight. So yeah, this is gonna take very long. We'll wrap things up for the day once we land. We'll be back next Saturday, same time. We'll be in the DC-3 again, we're landing in Burkina Faso. I'm not sure how long that one's going to take, but we'll be back in the DC-3 for that. So, just still visiting countries we've not visited before. We've not been to Burundi, so I don't know if we've ever been to Tanzania either. Might have to do that. Let's have a look. No. So we just took off from the airport in Tanzania. I'm gonna have to do a flight to Tanzania one of these days. Over the turbulence. set our cruising altitude. Now we're starting to kind of slowly pick up some speed here. Hello, Joseph. How are you? Saturday afternoon. All right, thank you. Now we took off. We got 180 nautical miles to go. 52 minutes left in the flight. This one's not going to take very long today. Get to our destination. We'll wrap things up. We'll be back next Saturday. Yeah. So we're just cruising right along. Bujumbura, the former capital of Burundi. We are in Africa. This isn't probably what you think of when you think of Africa. There's all this water here. I don't know where this water's from. I don't know if we are near the coast, maybe? Yeah, we're near Lake Victoria. That's what it is. We are inland. Lake Victoria is to our right, a little bit to the front. And we're heading to here. Body of water here, lake, Tanganyika, we're heading over some lakes in Africa. Now the airport that we were landing at today, I bought a add-on scenery for it. The one in the sim just looks like yuck again. So we have one that is much closer to what the airport looks like today. So, yeah. Should be a pretty nice looking place once we land and pull into the terminals. I'm sure they can handle, it's a long enough runway they can handle jetliners, probably regional jets, stuff like that. But if we'd taken a jet, the flight would probably just about be over right now. So try to get the most out of our time on the stream. We'll be back next Saturday for DC3. Visiting more countries we've not visited yet, or a country we've not been to yet. Have to find time to do a flight to Tanzania, do the flight back to where we departed from. Yeah, other than that, we're just plugging along. about it. Might be flying with Kev later today, but he's putting a radiator in his car. So, otherwise he'd be here, but he couldn't fly today because that's what he's doing right now. So, quiet stream, quiet chat. What can you do? Hello JP, how are you? Good day. Welcome. We are over Lake Victoria, parts of the southern part of Lake Victoria. We just took off from Mwanza in Tanzania. We were heading to Bujumbura off the coast of Lake Tanganyika, something like that. But there's our destination. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come in over the airport. We're heading right for 35. But once we have the runway, the airport in sight, we come over. There's this mountainous area right in this region. We might be able to see the mountains kind of in front of us a little bit. Eventually, doing good. Just came back from shopping. Nice. We're gonna once we know where we are in relation to the airport. I may turn a little bit to the right in order to fly kind of a little bit more over the airport, and then we're just going to make a big lazy left turn. Somewhat lazy because we do have to kind of watch. There's lots of like mountainous areas around the airport, but we're kind of in a valley, even though it's a high valley. We're at like the airport's at 2,500, almost 2,600 feet in elevation. So we're gonna come in, make that wide left turn as much as we can, then turn back into the airport and land it. So that's the plan. So not a very long flight today. We got 154 nautical miles left and 43-ish minutes. Away the groceries. Alright, no worries. I'll be here. Just sipping my green tea. Get a little bit cloudier as we get closer to the mountain ranges. A little bit of turbulence there. Nice departure out of our airport there in Tanzania, shores near Lake Victoria. just clearing off some more countries to have visited. I need, let's see, a few more. I have 90. It says I visited 144 countries so far, and I have 95 left to visit. I'm going to check off Burundi today. Next Saturday would be Burkina Faso. Let's see. But there's a personal achievement for. You have to visit 200 unique countries. This will be country 143 out of 200. So just chipping away at that. I may have gotten credit for a country. There may be two different flags, but anyway. Squeeze in a flight to Tanzania to get the Tanzanian flag since we haven't been there yet. So try to do that later in the week, depending on what's going on. Let's have a look here. Alright, so here shortly we should start getting the code for the VORD leader Burundi, which is weird. It says it's got a 130 nautical mile range, but with all those mountains around the area, I'm surprised it can reach that far. But somehow they boosted it. Here as soon as it pops up. I don't think I needed to fill up, but I just figured I would so that it's Bravo Juliet Alpha, 29 nautical miles ish, 128 something. Yep, and I hear it transmitting. Alright, that's working. Needles pointing right at it as well. And now we're starting to get into a little bit more of the terrain. We have I don't think we're close enough to talk to them yet. No, we're pretty far out still. Alright, let's see where we are on now. Excuse me. Yep, start any minute now. We're going to get into a little bit higher terrain. What's the tail wind? See, oh, it's gusty here and there. Yeah. Probably because of the terrain. I'm guessing. It'd be nice if we had a nice tailwind. Not the most exciting scenery we've ever been over, but at least you can say you've been to Burundi. It's the sin. Say that. As far as your life goes on. Welcome back, JP. We're 111 nautical miles out, about 31 minutes left in the flight. days before we can start getting over to some bit higher terrain, but we're at 10,000 feet, so we should clear it quite easily. I don't believe there's anything between us and the airport that goes higher than where we're at right now, so we'll stay right here for the time being. I think I'm going to use this opportunity to step away for a moment, use the little captain's room. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's see how far up we are now. 95. Cruising right along here. I like it. thank you all for coming in and hanging out today. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. Quite a, not a very long flight, not like last Saturday where we ended up going for just over 3 hours flying time, about a 4-hour stream. Excuse me. That was a lot. And then I flew a short flight with Kev, Tiger Moth. We went from Sacramento to San Francisco. Yeah. It's quite the adventure.
Clipper 237, contact Bujumbura Center on 128.1. Good day.
128.1 Clipper 237. Goodbye. Bujumbura Center Clipper 237 10,000 feet.
Clipper 237, Bujumbura Center, altimeter 29.902, radar contact, continue.
I didn't realize this, but earlier in the week was the anniversary of the fall of Saigon, the end of the Vietnam War, and Pan Am was a big part of evacuating people. This guy who worked for Pan Am, he was the, I guess, the liaison for Saigon, for Pan Am, in Saigon, for Pan Am, and he signed over 400 adoption papers to get kids out of the country, and got them to America. And two of the girls that he saved, basically as babies, finally got to meet him in person. They had every year, I guess, at the Pan Am Museum, they have a big, they talk about it and all that. And people who were involved that are still alive show up, and he was one of the people, and they got to meet him at some point, and thank him for getting him out of the country. Yeah, quite a thing. Sign all those documents to get those kids out, to give them a better life. Not very thick clouds. Not like we're flying through a storm or something. So there was our story time. If you look up Pan Am, follow Saigon, I'm sure there's more information there. About it. People involved and everything. Actually, I think if you go to the Pan Am Museum website, they probably have links talking about it. Alright, let's see where we are now. 75 nautical miles. We're talking to Bujumbura Center, so that's a good sign. Oh, we are slowing down. Why are we slowing down? That's odd. We were dropping speed. Throttle seemed to be happening. See, they're jumping. You see that? I don't have failures on this. I don't think. Well, you know what? Hold on a second. Let's just check something. No, not that. General. Nope, not that. Assistance options. So it's not that. It's not like it's a failure. I wonder if it's the turbulence affecting the engines. It would be from the line, so I don't know why it would show. That's odd. Strange. I've never seen it before. That fluttering the throttle like that. Maybe do we know? Never seen that happen before. Alright, let's see where we're at now in relation to the We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's see if we can talk. We're 60 something nautical miles out. There may not be there it is.
Bujumbura Tower Clipper 23763 miles east 10,000 feet to land.
Clipper 237 Bujumbura Tower. Altimeter 29.908, wind 17 tree at 7. Fly left traffic runway tree 5.
Enter left downwind runway tree 5, Clipper 237.
737. Well, we could go in for 17. No, we want 3. See, it's weird because it's showing 4 knot crosswind. No, I think we're okay. Hi, Amilla. How are you? We're almost at the end of the flight. We got about 58, 57 nautical miles to go. We're gonna fly over the airport. We've got our landing clearance. We still got a little bit of ways to go. Our throttles have been a bit wonky. I'm alright, thank you. Just, we're gonna get this flight done. We're gonna wrap things up for the day. And maybe flying with Kev later, I don't know yet. He hasn't said one way or the other if he is flying or not. And, I'll be back next Saturday. Well, I'll be back Sunday for sure, unless something changes. I had a salami and cheese sandwich. It was raining out, it was hot, I didn't really feel like cooking something or even warming something up in the microwave, so I just made a sandwich, nothing fancy. It's hard to want to cook when it's like hot and humid, you know, even though not in the house, but you know, you just feel like, I don't want hot food or anything like that. You just want a sandwich and something cold to drink. So I may be with Kevin today. Should be with Mick tomorrow. I know we're supposed to be farming unless something comes up, but otherwise I'll be on the farm with him tomorrow, and that's pretty much it. We're back next Saturday in DC3. We'll be going to Burkina Faso to get the country flag for there. We'll get the country flag for Burundi here once we land here in Bujumbura, and that'll be it. So, not sure what the afternoon will hold today. If Kev's he's putting a radiator in his car today, otherwise he'd be flying with me. But he had to back out of the flight to put the radiator in his car instead. So. Which is understandable. I mean, it's a bit of a process. So he might even be too wiped out to fly this afternoon. So that's the plan. So, if you missed it at the beginning, what we're going to do is we're going to fly over the airport. We should start descending here shortly. We're going to try to fly over the airport, try to come right in the middle of it, somewhere in here. And we're going to basically kind of turn and follow, kind of skirt the shoreline here, and then we're going to turn in. We want to basically... We're looking to come in right about here, where this little area right here. We want to line up with the runway from right about there. So that's the plan. Okay. We've got that VOR DME tuned in. That's what we hear right now, the 112.30. So that's what we're looking at. That's the plan. So we're gonna get down to about 6,000 feet. Once we clear all this high area, and we can start descending, we'll do that. As we kind of turn, we'll try to figure out our way to the airport, fly over, and we'll start to make that wide turn. Eventually we'll fire the autopilot and start slowing the plane down. Matter of fact, when we descend, we'll go ahead and let's go ahead and get set up for descent. So let's go back to main tanks. Plenty of fuel left in the main tanks. Those on, well, actually, no, we don't need to put those on this one. But when we start descending, we'll go ahead and get the cowl flaps open. And we'll be all set. Pretty straightforward flight today. No frills, no spills, no chills, no drills, no something. I don't know what else. Kind of a quiet chat today. Short flight, not a very long one. We'll be on the ground pretty soon before we know it. We'll put our landing lights on. We'll start descending here pretty soon. I think this mountain range is kind of hidden behind the clouds. That should be the range. Once we're past that, then I think we can go ahead and start descending. We should see kind of a valley area. It looks something like this, although it's going to look something like this area here. So it's all mountainous, right? So there's the airport we're going to fly. That's that coastline we're going to hug right there, and we're going to turn it. And then we should be on the ground. Okay. I'm hoping that the weather isn't as bad as this. I mean, it's kind of overcast now. The clouds are getting a little bit thicker. We may be heading into a rainstorm. Now, since this is an international airport, I do believe it's got the lights kind of guiding you to the runway, so we can look for those. Actually, it looks like we're going to fly right kind of in the middle of it, or even higher up in the airport. Closer here, and we'll start. Go ahead and dial in that 6,000 feet. We got good viewers. We don't need cheap viewers. We got very good viewers. Take your cheap viewers elsewhere. Take it to the fans that are only. They like cheap viewers. Over on Instagram, that's what a lot of people are advertising over there on Instagram now. What happened to the days you just posted pictures? I don't know if you travel or whatever. Unbelievable. Yep. Pretty much. Alright, here we go. Just as soon as we come over that crest line there, we're going to go ahead and hit the vertical speed button. We can go ahead and start our initial descent here. Alright, let's get things set up here. Alright, we should see, this is that kind of high valley area I'm talking about. So we're coming over these mountains. Yeah, there seems to be a lot more of those lately. I know Kev gets quite a few, on his Twitch, and and some of them are, it says that they possibly are evading bans. So like even if you ban it, they still find a way to circumvent the ban and still post in your chat. And I don't know that Twitch is going to do anything about it, unfortunately. No. Alright. Airport should be almost in front of us here in a minute. So it seems like we have more room to work with than what the chart kind of leads us to believe. Like the way it's presented in the chart, it's almost like it's jam-packed around all this high terrain, and it's not. There's way more room than you think there is, so we're okay. There's that area that I was talking about. That's what we're shooting for when we make our lazy turn into the airport. We'll go ahead and start dropping a little bit flat. Should be almost right in front of us, because if there's that area that we were talking about that we're shooting for right there off the left wing tip, so the airport should be pretty much directly in front of us. Click this button. Yeah, so the runway is over there. So yeah, we're going to be in good shape. And start about 6 minutes. Okay, so we're going to go into heading mode now. So we don't lose the autopilot. We're just going to continue the heading. little bit of clouds, not too heavy. Looks like there might be a storm coming. Should be like right here. Oh, there it is, right there. Right in front of me. Now it's kind of coming into the scene. There we go. We're flying right where I want it to be. Perfect. So there's our landing runway right there. Don't have to worry about looking for lights because it seems like the clouds are kind of just scattered, very light. Not a lot of substance to them. So there's the terminal right there on the right wingtip. Yeah, no lights there. Surprisingly. At least none to me. Sir. There might be some. Alright, I'm gonna let this. I don't want to. Alright, there we go. There's Joseph. He's around. He's hanging out. You didn't overdo it at the pub last night, did you, Joseph? You had two streams to watch. You had Mick going on in the whatchamacallit, No Man's Sky, then you had Pulse doing the last bit of Dragon Age the Veilguard. Quite a lot for you to take in there, young man. screens seem to be a bit foggy, kind of scratched up or something. I don't know. Ooh, that looks like a rainstorm right there in front of us. Ooh-wee. Look at that. Oh, airport should be pretty there. Well, look, that cloud's rolling in quick. Look at that storm coming in. What are we gonna do, Joseph? What do you think we should do, Joseph? Let's hear, Joseph. What do you think the plan of attack should be? Should we scrap the plan and just say the heck with it and land on the water? Don't you dare say we're going around. We're not going around. That's off the table. Don't even entertain that thought. Come on, Joseph. What are we gonna do? What's the plan, Joseph? Oh, well, Joseph doesn't have a plan, so we're going to go ahead and fire the autopilot. Nose it over a little bit. I know he's going to say, go around. That's not part of the plan. Let's watch his landing gear come down. Oh, go quickly. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Landing gear's down. Oops, stop. Crap. A lot of altitude. Oh, we nosed over quickly. Oops, daisy. That was all part of the plan, Joseph. Yeah. There's that area I was talking about right there in front of us. Let's double check we are where we wanted to be. Oh, look at that. Imagine that. Terrain association, folks. It works. 60% of the I like those odds better than 60%. I did not. Airport in sight. We got this. Joseph, I was counting on you to have a backup plan. So, that's good. I'm gonna make this work. Where the hell? Think we should go around, Joseph? Last chance. Should we go around? But you could say it though, Joseph. Come on. You know you want to.
Clipper 237, wind 176 at 7. Clear to land runway tree 5.
Cleared to land runway tree 5, Clipper 237.
Oh, there is lights there. Just didn't see them when we passed over the airport. That had to be butter. That has to be butter.
Clipper 237, turn next taxiway.
Oh, we got on a taxiway. Look
Clipper
at that.
237, contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er Clipper 237. Goodbye.
Let's have a look at that. We'll clean up the aircraft first. Let's do that. Let's get this all closed up. JP says, just put it down. I have to start making dinner. All right. We'll have to listen to that.
Bujumbura ground Clipper 237 request
That was
taxi to
a
parking.
88. I'll take
Clipper
it.
237 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway.
88. Negative
Taxiing
88.
to general aviation parking via taxiway Clipper 237.
I'll take it. I thought it was better than that, but apparently not. Welcome to Bujumbura, everybody. Local time is sometime late in the afternoon. Yeah, I was quite pleased with that. I thought I did better, but I'll take it. Thank you for flying today. We'll be back next Saturday, same time. We'll be traveling to something Faso. Burkina Faso? Burkini? Somewhere interesting. That's for sure. Check out that, they have a really neat terminal here. I like that, the look of it. And, oh, here, once we park, I'll show you guys something. And then we'll wrap things up. He'll be on at 2, okay. I should be there, 1 o'clock my time. But this is, I got the scenery. This is at Payware Airport, because the other one just looked terrible. This is probably closer to what it looks like in real life. So let's scoot over here. Check this out. Over here, I was hoping we were going to park almost right in front of this place, but you have, it says arrivals and depart, or VIP, so this is where all the people come in for arrivals. This is probably departure. The only thing I wish this sign was a little bit clearer, but there's the yeah, so this is for arrivals, this is for, you got the VIPs waiting here for their flight. But I like the design of the building. Like, this is pretty cool, I think. But it's not a huge airport, right? Okay, see you later, JP. But, yeah. So there we are. So, yeah, it looks, if you look at the chart, it looks like we didn't have all this room that we really had. It was almost like all the mountains were, like, pretty close to the airport. But we made it. Oh, they do have, check this out, they got looks like a DC-3 here on display, and some kind of a regional jet, and it looks like they've got a few more things over here. I didn't even notice these yet. Oh, this is military stuff. Yeah, there's a military field over here. So 2 more DC-3s. But there's where this runway used to be. It was all dirt, I think. This that might have been part of the old airport. But anyway, let's wrap things up before we get another round of ads coming in. All right, let's get this turned off and everything there. All right, hour 22 in the air. Perfect. All right, there we go, folks. Let's get out of here. I will see you. Do a shout out to Kev. If you don't follow him, give him a follow. There you go. Thank you, Mela. Appreciate it. So I should be with him later today, about 1 o'clock my time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast. Come in and hang out if you want. I'm not sure which flight we're going to do, but we'll do something. I'll be flying something. I don't know what, but we will. And we'll be back next Saturday, DC3. Thank you, Joseph. So I'll see you all then. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, early Sunday, possibly for some folks. I have been and always shall be your host, pilot, lead singer, driver of the airplane, Uncle B. Until next time, peace, live long and prosper.